Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV, continuing the hype train from FanFest at the weekend. I thought we'd go over the Labyrinthos little teaser trailer. It's only 52 seconds. You know, I'm not stretching these out for any other reason other than wanting to talk about them and to speculate what all of this is. Because when they unveiled Labyrinthos, we really didn't get any information on what it actually was. Now, the name itself, Labyrinthos, implies, you know, a labyrinthine sort of situation. And if we watch this just without the audio this time, the first thing we see is this Charlian architecture. You can also see what appears to be almost like an elevator in the background. This very much looks like it would be on the island where Old Charlian actually is. Now, what they did mention is that there is no sky here. This is actually a fake blue sky with a fake star in it, basically to provide photosynthesis, presumably for crops that you see in this footage as well. It's underground. It's a subterranean area, so that's quite interesting. But it implies then that it goes further underground, a deep dungeon, if you will. And that's usually where I would gravitate my speculation towards. Although as a zone, it does look like somewhere that we'd probably have some quests. I just think that there's probably maybe a labyrinthine studium type thing. Maybe there's just like archives that go ridiculously far into the ground and no one's gone to the bottom of it, to the very depths of all of that history. That's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining this basically Palace of the Dead type, you know, multi-floor dungeon with as deeper as you get, the older the tomes that you would find in there, and obviously they'd be guarded by all sorts of creatures and such that might have escaped. Maybe that's the idea. You see chains on the doors in Old Charlian in the cutscene as well. You see it in Great Google Library. This is where my speculations led to. My mind is now filled with the idea of us having to go in there and clean it out and get to the bottom of it, literally, to sort out whatever is happening in there. Maybe something has broke free from, you know, a magical seal of some description, some forgotten history, maybe some Asian stuff. I have no idea, but the actual zone itself around Labyrinthos has windmills and lots of other buildings, as you can see, so they have their own power. They have a water mill. So this is all energy, presumably to power this dome thing. We also have vegetation down here, so this does look like it's its own zone. I can imagine the map being a big circle, basically, with, you know, buildings. We have something that looks like the Tower of Pisa over here, so further sort of... I did mention on the Charlian thing, I was like, oh, that looks kind of like a little bit like Rome. Well, now you've got this sort of, well, Italy sort of design here. It's very continental, isn't it? And then over here we've got even more of the big cogs and things. This actually reminds me of the Limson in the Mist, where we have this sort of cog thing, this windmill thing attached to a building. It's all a mix of different styles, isn't it? But like with that same coloration. And then you've got these Corinthian columns, and I don't know, there's bits of it that remind me of Amarot, for example, like these street lamps. It's all a weird mix of different cultures, I think, in the game. It does look to be a fairly decent-sized place, but I don't know if this is going to be like an actual questing area. Although it does have an aetheryte. So somewhere that has an aetheryte underground, I mean, Quarry Mill technically has an aetheryte, and so does the place outside of Heaven on High. So that could be the same sort of thing. Again, we have no idea what Labyrinthos is. It's just my speculation that it might be a deep dungeon. I'm not sure what these giant maracas are that are sticking out of the ground. Those are interesting. Almost look like Tesla coils or something. I have no idea. Got lots of buildings that are very clearly Charlian. We have these big towers either side. And this is that elevator. These designs for the caged elevators remind me of something from Bloodborne. And I'm getting a huge Bloodborne sort of vibe from this, you know, or Dark Souls sort of... That's the noise I expect them to make as they go up and down. But I presume that's what this is, some kind of like airly elevator system. But there's also all this other stuff inside that looks like a drilling machine, maybe. I have no idea what this could be. but there must obviously be a way out. There is a big focus on this trailer, this teaser trailer, on the actual mechanicals of this, so it's obviously here for some purpose, whether it being creating enough power to power the dome, or if this is a drilling operation, or whatever this might be, or if this is something to do with, as we saw in one of the dungeons, where they had the 4 elements, for example, that looked like Charlian architecture. Maybe that's the actual dungeon about recreating the Eureka project, basically, or something like that. Lots of experimental designs in electricity or something, but it's clear to me that this is more of, it feels like a test bed, you know what I mean, seeing what's possible, because you've got all these pumpkins, you've got vines over here, or whatever, what are those, grapes? I'm not sure what tree that is. I know those are grapes. That's like a vineyard. And we've got like various trees over here, maybe fig trees or something. We've got crops growing over here, maybe corn, maybe apples, I have no idea. You've got a water wheel, so it's irrigated, so it looks like this is all planted on a platform and then it's irrigation underneath. So it just feels like a mix and a mash between a science experiment and everything else. This is also still in the dome, by the way, and this looks like a massive building. So it's quite possible that that Eureka lookalike dungeon that we saw in the dungeon preview could be in Labyrinthos itself. Labyrinthos could be just the name of the place, but I mean, presumably, or it could be connected to it in some way. But here we are as it pans up. Yoshi P and the translation with Koji Fox stated that this was a artificial source of energy to provide light and basically create this entire effect. So this is not actually the sky. This is all a hologram or something like that, projected to produce plant life, photosynthesis. I have no idea. And that's all there is for that trailer. So as we skip around through this video, you can see these little towers. That looks kind of like a water tower. Obviously, we're on the collector's edition mount here in this particular footage. It just, the vegetation, etc., for being underground wouldn't ordinarily be possible. It just looks like a big science experiment to me. But I've no idea. I don't know. My only speculation, my only possible guess is that this is either a mining operation and a test bed for experiments, like Charlian experiments, which, you know, are based on ASEAN technology, or this is a hub with some quests related to a dungeon, as well as a deep dungeon. And that's what I'm kind of leaning towards. But anyway, you might have some very different opinions. The music for this, let me just share this with you. It kind of sounds like a music box. I'm not sure if this is an original theme. Let me know below. I don't recognize this theme for some reason. It's almost dwarven, you know, like sort of like Tinkertown sort of stuff, isn't it? I have no idea. It's definitely not like a hostile theme, though. Have you noticed that? I mean, I know there's not NPCs or anything in this yet, but it doesn't feel that hostile. It feels quite like a friendly place. I don't know. I've no idea. Let me know below if you know what that piece of music's called. But yeah, I'm interested beyond belief in this place. This is the one place that was just racking my mind since FanFest. Like, what is this? What could this be? Obviously, we know we're getting Island Sanctuary at some point, but I don't think this has anything to do with that. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think Labyrinthos is. Speculate below wildly. Give me your best guesses. I'm sure some of you will be absolutely right as usual, and I'll have missed something. Let me know if you see something I don't. and I will indeed check the comments, reply to you, and I'll see you all next time. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day.